Welcome back to In His Mind. Still dealing with the cold. I think it'll take probably another day or two for it to fully get to subside. There's been something on my mind that it'll only take a few minutes to talk about, but it's interesting and it's worth noting, and that is the similarities between Yoda and Jesus. So, to start from the beginning here, I have followed Star Wars for quite some time, as it was a personal interest, and I really loved the aspect of the Jedi. And yet, the more I learned over the years, and this is just going beyond the stories, I think my favorite book was Tales from the Empire, featuring D. Harhan. Just one of the coolest characters that is in there. And the next would be Dash Rendar. He's like Han Solo, but let's just say he has a different background, and his story is very short-lived. It's only in the shadows of the Empire too, from what I understand. But overall, the philosophy of Star Wars, or rather in Star Wars, of the Jedi and the Sith, are very intricate and very interesting. So, the thing is, the more I began to learn, the more I began to understand, the more I began to see that the whole part about being self-centered, it's all great and all up until the point where you start sacrificing others for your own gain. And that's really where the line's drawn. There's only been a handful of Jedi that's ever been like, nah, we're not doing that. But anyway, I'll put some links down below, because I wanted to do a video on the Jedi and the Sith philosophy, and I probably will. I'll probably break it down later, just because there's a lot of good stuff. And the fact is, there's a whole religion based around it. I don't know if there still is, but there was back when like the Phantom Menace came out and people were like going crazy over it. But yeah, the thing is, if you remember what Yoda says to Luke about the whole do not try, do, whatever that phrase was, I'm blanking on it. Do or do not, there is no try. When it comes down to it with Jesus, that's all you can do is try. Because here's the thing, we are enabled to do certain things, we are gifted in certain areas. Succeeding in what we do is not guaranteed. We're never going to be perfect, and we're never going to be 100% successful in what we do on our own. We have to be enabled, we have to be blessed, we have to be gifted, we have to be protected. There's a lot that takes, or rather that goes into being successful and actually doing. And one of the key differences there is you could have your mind in the right place and still end up failing due to circumstances you may not even necessarily find out right then or there. It may be years later down the road, as I found out. Sometimes the answer just will take its time in coming to you. It's not a bad thing. It's just the difference between the two is, do your best, but you should still aim for it for multiple reasons, as in because you want to glorify God, you want to do your best, you want to be your best, you want to serve your fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, whereas Yoda is, you put your mind to it, you will do it. Don't try. You're only going to give up halfway through. And I guess the difference between the two there is simply put as trying versus doing your best. That doesn't sound right. Doing your best versus... man. Okay, so it's on the tip of my tongue, but I'm going to have trouble. This is going to bother me for a while. It's something... It is there, it's just... I'm not sure how to say it. But either way, I hope you get what I'm trying to say. The thing is, with Yoda, and this is a little bit of background information there, as wise of a teacher as he was, as respected as he was by those among the fans and those within the Star Wars universe, he still had his own failures. And you don't hear much of it because there's very little talked about. But if you look around, you will find out more as far as what was talked about with his own failures. And one of them was with Anakin Skywalker before he turned into Darth Vader. Those who are wise will always recognize when they've messed up. And to my knowledge of the two, and yes, this is outside the fact that Yoda is a creation, of the two, Yoda is the one with the imperfections. And I'm talking about built into the story and the character and all that. Of course, some of it you'll have to read into the lore and the background information to actually understand more of it. It's very well done. It really is. I think some of it has been changed due to Disney throwing out some of the legends continuity and some of the books where they wrote it off like saying it didn't really happen that way. And yeah, a lot of fans kind of just like don't care what Disney says anymore because they've done so much damage to the Star Wars brand. It's just not even funny. But yeah, that's basically it. Just interesting thought on the difference between Jesus and Yoda. All right, until next time.